McDowell's supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and stream with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Monday afternoon to you, everyone. Welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. I hope you're having a good day so far, that you had a wonderful weekend, as I did. Yeah, except for a little scary moment, or two. But I hope that your week has started off nicely. Our program, of course, airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM Radio, coming to you on the dual frequencies of 91.3. That's the frequency for the north, and 91.5 for the south. We're also simulcasting on NBC Television, channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service, as well as being on Facebook Live, and our programs are live streamed on YouTube as well. Now, before we say anything further, I've welcomed you. I've told you, hope you're having a good day. Hope you had a nice weekend. Wishing you the very best for another shortened week, of course. Thursday will be the 30th of May, and that will be Corpus Christi, public holiday, so we won't be having a program on that day. But tell me, how do I look now? My glasses are back, right? Yeah, new frame. Tell me, how do I look? Y'all gonna give me jokes today, as y'all did for my goggles and so on and all of that? Tell me, how do I look? Super handsome. I'm always a handsome fella, as we would say, Dion D. Lot must on sack. We bell num. Cornelia Jacob, that's especially for you. Looking for your comments on my glasses so I could put, the backup pair of goggles away and so on. I went to see a friend this morning who normally would comment on that. We talked. He did everything that, he normally does for me, serve me my breakfast and all. He didn't comment on my glasses. Mr. Az, I know you probably didn't even notice that at all. But that's okay. You didn't give me any little comment, good or bad. But maybe if you had given me one, it might make me want to take them off. But I came in and I left and you didn't notice that I'm back to my glasses again. So much for that, people. Jaquan, if Thursday is the 30th, it means today is the 27th, right? Okay, 3 days subtracted from it. I lose track of dates. Talking about the weekend and the tropical wave and so on, it didn't bring as much rain as I thought maybe it would have. It had a few little showers scattered, hardly anything to talk about. But is it only myself who's noticing that over the years, as we go along, the thunder seems to be getting worse and more scary and heavier and louder and always sounding like something is going to fall from the sky or the sky is falling down? The other thing I feel about the thunder generally doesn't scare me. But in recent years, it's like the thunder, when it comes, always right on top of me, right over my head on the roof and so on, that it does, and like it ain't going anywhere else. I know it goes other places, but like you fill in the thing, and like when you see that flash of lightning, you're waiting for it, and it can be so imperious, so loud, so threatening at times, rattling things and so on. When I used to grow up, my parents and grandparents used to tell me something about the PLOI. They always claim that sometimes in some thunderstorms, something solid would fall from the sky. It was extremely hard. It would go through anything. And I wondered whether it was not a coincidence that maybe a meteorite or something came down simultaneous with the thunder, but not caused by the thunder. And they used to say about something called the PLOI. Has anybody heard about PLOI? Do you have any experience with it? That it is a solid thing like rock that comes from the sky and that is so hard, and if it hits you, you're gone. And it can go through anything, roof and concrete, and into the earth to a certain depth and so on. So, I don't know if you have. I only heard the stories about it, never saw it. Never witnessed it or anything of that kind, but maybe you can tell us. People, my feeling is that we have the official hurricane season from the 1st of June to the 30th of November, but that there is the unofficial, not respecting the calendar hurricane season. And I feel once you start having tropical wave and this kind of things, it means the hurricane season has started. All right. So if you have not yet begun to be prepared, make yourself prepared little by little by little. If it is, like I said, you got to stock up on a little tuna fish or a packet of candles there. Don't wait for everything to come upon you at once. These things don't spoil. Candles don't spoil. A simple box of matches, your flashlight, the batteries and so on. You don't have to buy it and put it in right away. Batteries can burst in lights. They do that. Happens to me a lot, Things that I have remote controls and whatever, the batteries last a long time, I think. And then next thing you go in and you find that the battery, has leaked. I've had to change a couple of the units, troublesome kind of thing. Sometimes you can't get them here. Sometimes you do. You have to do some mail order for them. But watch it with the batteries and so on, and putting them in and leaving them there. If your flashlight is not something you use, leave the battery in its packaging. And when you need it, you're going to take it out and so on. Just as you don't go light candle and just leave candle lit, you're asking for trouble and so on. But you can begin your preparations gradually, little by little. People, I intended to have someone on this program to talk about our CIP, because I see allegations are being bandied all over the place about our CIP, XYZ, ABC and so on. And maybe also let's talk about the water situation, because there seem to be mischief makers who can find no way to oppose or to criticize than to always be stirring up some kind of notion that somebody, that's a standard and stock technique now. The technique of, Yokamatibao, they're lying to you. They're not telling you the truth. They're fooling you. Who do Philip JP think they're fooling? Who do Honestly Learn them think they're fooling? It's always they're fooling. And I'm not saying they ain't have people trying to pull a fast one on us all the time, It's not just politicians and ministers and so on. But I wish some of the people who seem to use that as a standard and stock method or technique or whatever we want to call it, to see if they can discredit, to see if they can remove whatever goodwill that the politicians that are in power that they won, because we're approaching 3 years and so on, and then I suppose serious things will begin. I want you to do two things for me. I want you to show me exactly what is the lie and what is the deception that you are alleging that Philip J. and Stevenson King and Ernest Dile and always somebody, they're fooling you and they're lying to you. That just seems to be something that has taken the world with renewed, it has always been there, for sure. But there seems to be a renewed energy about that technique of trying to destroy the credibility and the appeal of people by saying, your public servants and your people in the healthcare sector and so on, that they're lying to you and they're fooling to you. What do they stand to gain from doing that? What do they stand to gain? What is it that suddenly people who have been servants in a public capacity in healthcare, your chief medical officer, your pathologist, your researchers, why all of a sudden you vle kuyene tout moun, ek you vle manti by tout moun, and they want to do this and they want to do that? What do they stand to gain from it? That's one thing I want you to tell me. Like the vaccines thing, we have had vaccines for so long. Vaccines are nothing new. Vaccines against polio, vaccines against typhoid, vaccines against diphtheria, vaccines against measles. Is for when COVID came, there seemed to be endless conspiracy theories about vaccines and they want to put that in your body to do you something. I wonder how much they have done to us over the years with polio, with typhoid, with measles, with diphtheria, with tetanus, with this, with that and the other, that it is around the COVID time that everything. I was talking about it last week and somebody immediately sent me something about how AstraZeneca has discontinued their vaccine and they have withdrawn it and so on. And I said to myself, what does that say? What is it you're sending me that for? What is it meant to prove? The COVID pandemic has receded. It's almost something that we consider to be a thing of the past. Not really, I mean, there's still cases of it. But it is not the big deal that it was. And one of the reasons it is not the big deal is because the collective, as we call the herd immunity, as a result of the vaccination and as a result of some people natural immunity taking hold because they were exposed to it and so on. So why should AstraZeneca continue to manufacture vaccines and to have huge stockpiles of them, that will spoil, that will expire, that will no longer be useful? It is costly, even if the world banded together to help small countries like ours to get the vaccines at low cost or at no cost, certainly to us, the people it was given to. And maybe that's part of the problem, we didn't have to pay for it. Nobody charged us for it. So we have everything bad to say about it because no paswe puli. That's the thing, anytime we don't sweat for something and you see we don't have to shell out for it, we always believe that we can take it for granted, that we can bad talk it, that it is entitled, that it is something they give. Why should they continue? They discontinued the thing because it is no longer needed to have it in such great quantities in warehouses, in batches. When 6 months is not good, nobody's buying it, nobody's ordering it. It has basically served its purpose. So they discontinue it. I mean, are we forgetting the way the AstraZeneca vaccine, which was first off the press, so to speak, the first bread out of the oven came, that it was Oxford University that did the research, and then AstraZeneca, the company, decided that they could mass produce the thing which was urgently needed and so on. I'm not coming here making excuses for vaccines, but I'm just saying that there is a mindset that has taken hold, which I see in St. Lucia. The United Workers' Party especially is trying to take that very same mindset and insert it into the politics in an effort, then so far, to discredit Philip J. Pierre and the government that he leads and so on. You know, I'm not denying that there was some crap done with the vaccine. Let me tell you something. You see the mRNA vaccines that are really mostly the focus of all the claims and the allegations of something that they knew that was not ready and that was rushed into production. I'm not defending them, you know, not that I know anything. Because some foolishness has been going on of a rivalry between Europe and America. What America produces, because they always believe that they are the ones who have to be the leaders and the persons who are, you know, in front of everybody else. America, a certain interest, they just cannot accept when Canadians, and by America I mean United States, you know, or Cubans. You know, Cubans have done a lot of extremely, you know, marvelous things in the field of medicine and medical research and so on that you don't hear, but the sanctions, and you think they'll ever want to, not to discredit Cuba. The people you have under sanctions nevertheless can come out with certain vaccines and medications for cancer and medications for heart attack and cholesterol control and so on. You think they'll ever want to give them any credit for it? They will not. So they will always put out enough for propaganda about them because they want their own ones to be those that dominate the market, those that dominate recognition and this thing. I suspect a lot of these problems they're having with the Boeing jets, the Boeing, how they call them, the MAX, the 737 MAX, whatever, that is crashing, that has such a poor safety record. You know, it's all science about the pressurization of an airplane. In the early days of jet aircraft having to fly at heights that prop aircraft could not fly, you know, above 30,000 feet. That used to happen a lot in the early days, where they were not able to get the pressure, you know, differential right and so on, and so they were over pressurizing the planes, and in mid-flight they were exploding. Doors were blowing out, planes were crashing. That's also, now you're hearing about a Boeing plane, a Boeing jet, recently in mid-flight, a door just blowing out and so on because the pressure seals on it were not locked. I mean, that should not be happening this day. But you know what's happening? Boeing has found itself being edged out of the top position as a producer of commercial passenger aircraft and so on. And they're under stiff competition from the European company Airbus. Nevertheless, our friends there, there's always that great rivalry between the Europeans and the French, especially when it comes to who can produce the better jet fighter and who can produce the better submarine. It's good. It's good. The competition and so on. At the end of the day, better man tell, and they're all going to try to give a better product and so on. But the whole thing about the strides that Airbus has made and so on, you know, sometimes Airbus became the victim of its own success. They had this huge, you know, passenger airline called the A380 and so on, that, you know, won the plane, the amount of people it could carry and so on. But the market realities of now people, you know, want aircraft that can take them to different destinations as opposed to one big plane and then you have to stop there and deplane and go to other planes and so on. The A380 is turning out not to be the great commercial success, and I think they've discontinued it of Qatar and so on, and Saudi Arabia, you know, that will buy them and afford them and so on for their things there. But that may have been the thing. The competition between Boeing and Airbus probably meant that Boeing was rushing certain things, not just into production, but into service before they had completed all the tests and all the things that take years and the pressure rising and so on. And as a result of that, things that they probably should have picked up, they're not picking it up. That's my personal theory about it. So these mRNA vaccines and so on, which were, I think, almost all of them from American companies, of course it's possible they could have had some problems. Of course it's possible. You know, we didn't hear those things with the AstraZeneca, and even if you did, there's always been exceptions of people who have extreme reactions, you know, to vaccines. People, let's look at the fact. I'm not a woman, but I remember many years ago, as a young boy, curious as I always am about everything, I took out an insert for Tampax tampon. I assure you I never used them, okay? I never used it. I don't know how to. But then I'm reading something about it that, you know, in very rare cases, there is something called TSS, toxic shock syndrome. that can happen to people who use it, and when it comes, it can be easily fatal. It is rapid in its I even forget what it was. Does that mean that sanitary napkins or whatever that women use and tampons and so on, that they're dangerous and, it's a conspiracy, it's something they do to kill women and this kind of thing? And that is why I get disgusted with it. I get disgusted with those things. Same way, like I tell you, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump at all. And when I look at he and Vladimir Putin and the kind of understanding where Trump, it looks like, is even prepared to undermine and subvert and mess up his own country, America, because he has this kind of admiration for Vladimir Putin. He probably has his own selfish reasons too. You never know what Putin has promised him. Vast areas of land to put up hotels and golf courses in Russia if, they can remove sanctions and do. A lot of those fellas, they always have their own agendas which have nothing to do with the interest of their country and their people. There are people like that. Very selfish. We have them in St. Lucia too. And when I tell you I couldn't support Vladimir Putin, if I don't support Donald Trump, I don't see how I could be a fan of Vladimir Putin. It's the same thing here, I just find UWP does not seem to know any other kind of politics except the politics of trying to discredit and trying to disparage and trying to, say that Philip J. Pierre, tell me, what are your alternatives? What would you have done differently? Says Hamobletan, what are your alternatives? What are you proposing? And so don't come and tell me about the water. UWP has a problem with the water emergency that WASCO, in full compliance with the law, announced. They're trying to make it something the people because government is saying hold back on your construction that require heavy use for mixing of concrete and whatever the claim that was said. I don't even know if that was said, but the government is continuing with its own road construction and other project and this kind of thing. In this time where we have roads that we need to finish urgently, such as the Millennium Highway, when we need to finish things like the Castries, the Sir Julian Hunt Highway, up north, what went on at Rodney Bay from Bado once, the whole Galmacha that is contributing, to this snarl up of traffic, a colossal waste of time every single day. And today yesterday on the weekend, I went to order something on Amazon.com. And I looked and I said, but why am I ordering, this thing? A little drive around or a little call here and there and so on. Well, of course, calling now is a problem. People don't answer phone at business places. In any case, do you have this anti-allergy ointment, whatever? You never get the phone. That it is easier for me to order something on Amazon and to get it here for the time it will take for me to drive to go to Rodney Bay and to look if I'm told that something they have it there, and all the waste of time going up and all the waste of time going. And you ask yourself, what's really worth it and so on to declare that water emergency? You believe Zilta, Judge Leslie and whoever else and Water Resources Management Unit who came together and put their heads together to say, look, the situation is such, we have to do something. We have to do something. We have to say, okay, let's clamp down on the pressure washing of vehicles and all this kind of. They never servicing. And they forgot and they told me, yes, your servicing comes with a complimentary wash. When they called me to come and pick up the vehicle, I gone, machine salmon mania. So I said to them, hey, what happened? You all told me you all were going to. He said, oh, we forgot, Mr. Daniel. Sorry. We cannot wash vehicles. We actually got a notice of reminder from WASCO telling us that we cannot do that. We have to stop it. So we clean the inside, we vacuum it well for you. But Mr. Daniel, to wash the outside as we would normally do, we can't do it. You'll have to get it done yourself. They told me that. And I expect when I went to pick up vehicle, I don't know why I expected that. That sakagade net, sakagade do, sakagade bomb. But a lot of the dirt that I picked up from the same Millennium Highway and so on, once you pass there, your vehicle look like they paint. They call it mal in some places and so on, or whatever, the gravel or whatever it is. I forget the name, or the pumice, whatever. It's all over your vehicle. You have to bear it now. Of course, I went to somebody else who uses buckets of water and not spray water because I couldn't bear to see it like that going through, the weekend and so on. They told me they can't do it. But you have these people out there. So what are they supposed to do? Discontinue work on the Millennium Highway if they need to mix concrete and whatever because did the government so they're supposed to stop? Oh, what foolishness is that? What foolishness is that? The road is dusty and people choking in dust, so they have water trucks passing and you know, sprinkling it. They're not supposed to sprinkle it anymore because they declare water emergency. So let the dirt, you know, choke people and cause accident, because sometimes the cloud of dust, you can't see anything. You can't see what's in front of you. Let people crash into each other and crash into concrete, you know, walls and this kind of thing because they can't see. I mean, come on, let's be reasonable now, man. You know, showing a road building somewhere where they said it's year of infrastructure. Isn't the one we can't do it? Because if we don't build the road, the situation is going to be even worse, etc., etc. So you have to make judgment calls about things. People are still washing their vehicles. They never said don't wash your vehicle. What they say is about using hose and spray washing and this kind of thing. I believe that's what I understood it to be. Who can ever police? Absolutely no. And there are places that have car wash businesses, they have tanks. They have the storage tanks and so on. I have seen them. And they use what is in there. And that is why a lot of people were happy with the rain, because then you can collect some rainwater. They have the guttering that goes down into the storage units. Not everywhere have it, but a lot of places have it. United Workers' Party wants to make, especially now, I think they have a communications person who have a lot of time on her hands now. So now, you know, she can do enough of mischief and so on, whatever, you know. One of her surrogates, you know, seem to have jumped off, you know. I've jumped off the train, but she managed to recruit another one and all of that. So now with time on her hands because of certain things that I understand have happened. You know, I try not to talk about them, you know, because I've realized that when you talk about certain people, you give them relevance, you give them that sense of importance and empowerment, and is now they're going to come because, you know, so stop doing that. But I have to ask myself, is there any other type of politics that the United Workers' Party knows, apart from the politics of trying to discredit? They know. Tomorrow I'm going to have somebody to talk about this CIP thing, you know, but I'm not going to prevent myself from saying a few things about it. Does that mean that because somebody sue me, or indicate that they're suing me, or they, you know, that I've done something wrong? Is that the way we allow ourselves to be cowed, and the way we allow ourselves to be shaky about this person is suing you? Is that what it is? You're supposed to be quaking in your boots, and you're supposed to be peeing your pants and so on because some stupid person somewhere, who knows that whether Alan Shastney and UWP are not encouraging people to sue the government of St. Lucia so that they can come and say they're being sued, they're being this, they're being that. Isn't Theo Aking, who paid no more according to the agreement than $1 per acre for almost 1,000 acres of land for 99 years, that now with the government of St. Lucia wants that land back and so on, which they should, that there is a clause in now which says they have to buy it back from him? Then we heard the denial that the land was never sold to him. If it was never sold to him, how come he is now invoking the buyback clause? How come he is now taking a legal shield of defense against the government repossessing the land? Should the government be quaking in its boots over that? Should it refuse to do it? And isn't it credible for us to believe that there are people, they're poking Theo King and telling him, don't yield, you know, don't give up. If the government were to seek international arbitration over this travesty that is done against our country. So some man decides that he's going to sue, and it's the mostly St. Kitts CIP that he has a problem with. But in one line, he names the CEO reason he wants to sue McLeod Emmanuel. And you have people all over making, they can't say that Ernest Hilaire did anything wrong as the minister responsible for the CIP. They can't say that Lon Theophilus did anything wrong as the chairman of the CIP board. They can't say that Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre did anything wrong as the minister responsible for finance and those sort of things. But they have McLeod's picture all over the place suggesting that, you know, at the same time their buddy and their political ally, the ex-prime minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Timothy Harris, is named in it. But right now, you know, Harris have nothing to offer them. He's not prime minister anymore. so they can rope his name into a whole other thing to show that there was wrongdoing. Something wrong because you didn't give them the deal they were looking for, or you charged them too much, or you wanted a lower price and they wanted a discount or whatever. Does that mean you've done something wrong? Is that the way the United Workers' Party and its leader Alan Chasney want us to always be doubting ourselves? Wanting us to always be unsure of ourselves. Anytime somebody make a little noise, we're supposed to have a twin blood digging us. I've told you already my view that Alan Chasney is not just un-St. Lucian, he is anti-St. Lucian. We have to be careful about that. It's like they're flying a flag of rejoicing about that there's some corruption, you know. You don't realize when you want, Alan Chasney has this vendetta against Ernest Hilaire. Anything to do with Ernest Hilaire. And so that woman who is prosecuting it for him is really doing his bidding, in addition to having her own personal reasons or having beef with Ernest Hilaire, with Thaddeus Antoine, with Lon Theophilus, with Richard Frederick, with Philip J. Pierre, whatever. I leave it to you to figure. I'm not going to go into the reasons for it, but it's a constant pattern. It's something with which we have become familiar, that there's a this you have on these errands of trying to distress, Ernest Hilaire and Thaddeus Antoine and Lon Theophilus and Philip J. Pierre and Richard Frederick. I'm surprised they didn't find a way to pull in Richard's name into it, because this obsession with Richard, we know how it is. It's not gonna end. A lot of people will find themselves, even I myself, who have no kind of association or connection, but the mere fact that I seem to have some kind of closeness to Richard due to Can I Help You, me being on it and hosting it for him, it has made me the target. Likewise, McLeod Emmanuel. You won't find young going places, young man and so on for his age, who is so well focused and so solid and so on in his fundamentals, educational, professional, all those kinds of things. But he's working for CIP, which falls under Ernest Hilaire as a minister, of which Lon Theophilus is the chairman. So you have to go after McLeod Emmanuel. You have to make it look like he's involved in some kind of skullduggery. And so you write a whole thesis about corruption and about poor management of the CIP and all these sorts of things. You have to do them. You must do them. Nowadays people don't care about whether there is any solidity in allegations. It's like somebody there, I want to shaft them, I want to break a stick, up there, whatever. I'm going to do it. But in every instance it has happened. The evil person, the vindictive person, the malicious person is always the one who gets the retribution and who gets the poetic justice that this kind of behavior always brings about. There's no escaping it. It's going to happen. But you see, some people, they're too far gone already. They've gone so far that they can't turn back. There's nothing to turn back to. There are no bridges behind them that they can go back and cross, because they've burned those bridges, and those bridges have collapsed. So they just have to be pressing on, pressing ahead with their evil ways and doing what they're doing. And so we can expect more of that. Like I tell you, they have more time on their hands. Either way, I'm still fat, and big and bululu. How come these days I seen videos of people filming me in town and so on, so that they can put on? Well, it looks like the person who was at the vendor's arcade who was supplying the video, they stopped. You must be able to find somebody else. Go ahead, man. Put it back up again. To make me look stupid and ridiculous and all. Go ahead. It didn't work then, maybe it will work now, The definition of insanity is no longer doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Give it one more shot. Give it one more shot. Your connection at the vendor's arcade, that bridge may have burned just like the one at Pralay burned and so on. Develop new ones, man. Find new ones. Go after him in some kind of way and so on. Keep on doing this kind of thing all the time. Already we've begun to see, or we are hearing, of what seems to be an unraveling of the greatness that you claim for yourself. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's not, but there is no way you can have this kind of personality, this kind of driven, obsessive personality to do evil to people, and for it not to have a repercussive backlash against you yourself. And maybe we are beginning to see the early stages, the incipience of it. but as sure as night turns to day, it must happen. That's the real issues with you. We take a break. We'll be back shortly to take your calls and your messages.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Place, Jeremy Street, Castries, Citygate Bar, the CDC opposite the market, Plants Place, Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket, Soufre, the Release Stress Bar, Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar, Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance the best a man can get.
The man, the voice, Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice, Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment has issued a notice saying that the Public Assistance Program payments for May 2024 start today, Monday, the 27th. It says the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment wishes to notify clients of the Public Assistance Program, PAP, of Babonneau, listen carefully to the communities, Babonneau, Castries, Grosile, Susi and Millet regions, that payments for the month of May 2024 will commence Monday, May 27th, 2024 to Wednesday, May 29th, 2024 at the Welfare Division on Trinity Church Road, Castries from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. For further information, please contact the ministry at telephone numbers 468-5103 or 468-5108, that's in Castries. And if you're calling from Viewfort or in Viewfort or to Viewfort, that number is 4546478. All right. Now let's have testimonials from 2P program. Okay, you'll see it on your screen, their names and etc. Of those people. Go ahead, Jaquan.
When COVID came, the country got shut down abruptly. And then it affected me badly. I lost my job right away. Hi, my name is Deborah William from here. I'm a mother of 4. It was in the evening when I got the call and I was folding clothes with my children sitting down there talking. When I answered the phone, the lady said, "Hi, Miss William. your one-time income support has been approved. I felt overjoyed. I was able to give my children, especially my one daughter, the gift I wanted to give her for Christmas. I would like to say thank you to Philip JP for one-time support. Thank you very much. It's the best. It was great.
I received $1,500. My name is Josephine Bastien. I'm from Vigier. The 2 years after COVID, and then I get the $1,500. It helped me a lot, and it pushed me in front to open a little business. Now I can put food on my table right now. I don't even finish using it. I still have a few dollars in it still because I'm using it to buy coconut and make coconut oil and sell it back. Thank you for the government of St. Lucia. Gave me that $1,500 and it makes me happy, and I'm seeing a little light with what I'm doing with the money.
All right, so folks, you heard these testimonials from Deborah, from Josephine Bastien and Deborah William. These are the names of the ladies. All right. Now, I think we may have a little bit of a technical issue that may come in the way of starting to take the calls. While we work on it, let's just talk about the fuel prices. But before we do, someone has sent me a message which says, "Hi Shelton, please note that the water that's used on the Millennium Highway to dampen the dust comes from the nearby river under the new bridge." All right. So they're noting that this is not pipe-borne water or anything. But I didn't think so. But I'm just saying that when someone can use clips of those things and of road construction taking place, public road, using water, and to say that the government is not keeping its own word and this sort of thing. These are people who are just using things in the hope that they can stir up public anger. And the standard and stock messaging always is that the government is being unfair to you, that the government is applying double standards to you, that the government is lying to you, that the government is not telling the truth, that the government is trying to fool you. And you ask yourself, look, if what you're saying is true, what does the government stand to gain from doing that? Is roads they're building for us to use? Is roads they're building for fire engine to be able to go on it to put out fires? Is roads they're building for ambulance to be able to roll on it, so that they can go get sick people who have made an ambulance call to keep powering our economy, whether the hotels or other business places? Is roads they're building for students to be able to go to school so that they can get an education and that our future can be better secured and guaranteed, by the development and the cultivation of human resource, providing employment, preventing them from falling into crime and delinquency and all those sorts of things? But you're always trying some kind of thing to throw a monkey wrench into how the country is going and to create some kind of antagonism. And I'm going to tell you something. I can say this one with certainty and with authority because of the length of time I've known him and have dealt with him. You see Philip J.P.? You see this Queenad thing? You see this thing about trying to bluff people? You see this thing about trying to oppress people so that he can get an advantage to become richer and so on. If there's one person I know, and I can say that this is not a part of him, this does not form part of the man's mindset and his mentality and so on. I say it because I knew him before he became MP or anything of that sort, This just is not, and you know something? He's been around too long. Philip J.P. has been around too long. He's soaked and saturated and cooked in those things that have to do with government and public administration and those things. And he will not tolerate anybody in his government, in his cabinet, who going down that road. He'll pull them up. It may not seem that he's doing it because he's not going to go out and make a big row of it and those things. He's a man who believes in dealing with things internally and in the quiet way and in the proper way, not to humiliate people who work with him, but to get things corrected. And he will do the correction with a smile on his face. Because if he tells you this is not right and it shouldn't be, he does it and says it with absolutely no malice towards the person that he's pulling up. He does not hold malice on. And you know how I know that? Philip J.P. is a man who knows how to function in organizations. Even when there are things that he doesn't like, that he doesn't agree with, maybe things that are even personally humiliating to him. He is such a man who understands proper organizational cohesion, that the things he has taken, the things he has absorbed, the things he has endured and dealt with and so on, but he'll never go out and mess up the whole game because there's a decision of an umpire that he doesn't like. I'm just using that as an example because we thick into cricket season and so on. He's not a man who wants to squash the game because he doesn't agree with the decision of the umpire and so on. And there are things that people who have been his leader, who have been his prime minister, there haven't been too many, of course. There are people, when I say leader, I'm talking about political leader who have been at something. There are decisions and positions they have taken that he has not liked. Some of them may have distressed him personally. Some of them may have anguished him. But he has a certain discipline about him that he's not going to let that mash up everything and to wreck the whole works and so on because of not. But pull up people he will. And when he pulls up, he knows what he's doing because he's been around too long. He in tongue long. And he knows what goes on and how things go and how they don't go. So you see all this thing about there is something. If you see there was something in CIP that was going wrong, no matter about Ernest Hilaire and his doctorate and his sparkle and his shine and so on, Philip J. Pierre would not hesitate to pull him in and to tell him, look, minister, this can't happen, this can't be so and so. And he'll do it with the certainty of a mature man who knows whence he cometh, who knows his stuff, who knows about government and whether this thing should be or should not be, whether it is harmful. And no way anything going on with CIP, even if Ernest Hilaire is the minister responsible for it, and for Philip J. Pierre to know, and for him not to immediately take steps for corrective action. And no way he'll let it happen. And all this thing about trying to pin corruption on Ernest Hilaire, whether about Land Rover or about this or GPH and all this kind of thing, none of it has succeeded in sticking. And there's a reason. There's a reason. Ernest Hilaire not a man who need government, much less to be in corruption for him to survive, for him to get by, for him to succeed. Lon Theophilus need any kind of skullduggery, whatever, for him to get by. As a lawyer, as a businessman, you see any sign of that? You see any sign of greed over the years? Talk about now, over those guys. Any sign of greed or avarice as we saw in the last administration of people having this agalu guanfal, powers kind of people. You vle tout bagay pour ko yo fal yo pa ka plein pièce. If it's not with the hospital, is with Permandu, is with this, is with that. They're trying to see if they can grab and grab and grab and grab and grab. It's never enough for them. Have you seen any hint of that with Philip J. Pierre? Have you seen any hint of that with Ernest Hilaire? Have you seen any hint of that with Lon Theophilus? Don't talk for this young man, McLeod Emmanuel. A young man who had all his qualifications and everything, who had a fantastic job and position, I don't even know. I think his qualifications are in business and economics and commerce and those fields and finance and so on. The man had a top job at Lucilec. He was persuaded to leave that and to come and manage Radio St. Lucia. A place that has been riddled with problems and people running from it and everything, Radio St. Lucia, he took on a job because he felt it was something to do with national service, a public body. It was a challenge. It needed fixing. It needed certain things to be made right. He came and he took up the challenge of radios. And I can tell you, he made a difference, The very look of Radio St. Lucia, renovations and everything. Of course, he didn't do it alone. We had wonderful people like Joseph Maxwell as the chairman at the time, and another Maxwell, I don't know if they related, Monty Maxwell, on the board and so on. Who stood behind that they could make a difference. As soon as CWV came into office, what did they do? Wreck Radio St. Lucia to the point of shutting it down. All the renovations and getting the library and getting the material that was their archive just thrown on the side. They shut down the place. They didn't bother to see what equipment there could be salvaged. Equipment dead, dust on it, cobwebs and everything. Totally irresponsible. Shut down and so on. This un-St. Lucianness, this anti-St. Lucianness. McLeod Emmanuel left a place he was well set. Well set, at Lucilec. to come and manage what many people consider the black hole, Radio St. Lucia. I'm sure it's not more money or whatever they had to pay him there, but he saw it, like I said, as a challenge of a place that needed some ingenuity which he thought he could bring to it, and he did. Tell people about him. Young man, I could be his father. But he came down, the difference that he made to Radio St. Lucia. After they shut it down, he didn't scrunch for a job. I think he got another big job. Was it at Flow, whatever it was? You know? I won't tell you when he was asked to come and to manage CIP and so on, and I got to know about it, what I told him. I won't say that. That's private talk. But this young man is always leaving places where he is well set in a private sector capacity, because the appeal, the plea, the call for help with some aspect of national service, he always finds it too difficult to turn down. This is a man who's minded on public sector improvement. It ain't any big money that he couldn't be making in those private enterprises of Lucilec and Flow that he was, as far as I know. There may be others. Lured away from them by the call, please, we need you to come and help us there. There's somebody to be trying to destroy. This man at what you might consider to be the formatively productive areas of his life, where he's at his high water mark, where he's at a stage where, you know, this is the point where you tell yourself, you know, you have the world at your feet and think to, why go to places, you know, that will mired in politics like Radio St. Lucia? No matter what you do, somebody gonna come and all they'll figure out is that you were appointed while Labour was there, so he must be a political. This man don't need politics. The young man is qualified and capable and competent. You're trying to tie a noose of some kind of corruption allegations around the neck of McLeod Emmanuel? A man who has so many options, but who's just so public spirited. Tomorrow, God forbid, UWB come back, they get rid of him at CIU. There are numerous private sector entities in and out of St. Lucia who cannot wait to get him to be there, to put him in a top billing position and so on, to manage. Another time, the nation, through some instrument, whether of government, will tell him, look, man, please, we know you've had a bad rap in this, but he's going to come again. He's just very public-spirited guy who's never satisfied to just be and to make his money and live large and this kind of thing and forget about that. Like Kenny Anthony could have lived the Barnard life. He could have lived the life of the white-looking man with the Rodney Bay elite and all of that and so on. He could have lived it, and that's part of why they hate him. That he refused to just come and to just sail along as, you know, the Gopi Cha mulatto, you know, in the white world and No. They want to call him socialist, communist, whatever. He's a man who was always thinking about the people down there, whether as students, whatever. He identified with their struggles. He went through the struggle. He went through all the things with them. You know? Always some kind of foolishness about massa. Where can Anthony have a bone of massa in him? Where you have any instinct of massa in him? Where you ever ask anybody in Labour Party or anywhere, you must submit to me? Where you ever see him do that? It's always programs of proud and nice and this and step and whatever he is doing to see if he could have put a little dollar in the hands of people. Oh, he should have given the money to the private sector. Well, when you give people at that level money, where are they taking the money to? Not to the private sector, not to courts, not to buy their plywood, not to do this and that and the other. Always in this kind of criticism. But to come and make it sound like there's always some kind of skullduggery and the evidence of the people. And let me tell you some more evidence. It's about the fuel prices, you know. There's some people who are always about, oh, the fuel prices, they're keeping the fuel prices so high. And, you know. Look at the price of cooking gas, which is something that matters to people. We have a pass-through mechanism. The fuel is priced upon the pass-through. So if the price of gasoline remains at $16.50, it's because the market conditions do not allow for a modification of the price through. Because we're seeing prices going down in the 100-pound cylinder of cooking gas. We're seeing prices going down from time to time in the kerosene and so on. We're seeing prices going down in other areas of it. Don't come and lie to people like it's a méchanceté that Philip J. Pierre doing and is keeping it at $16.50 and saying, kids, have it lower. And this place is, yeah, because their purchasing arrangements and so on differ from us. And you never give us a chance to get into different purchasing arrangements because you couldn't wait to come in and to back kick Venezuela in the mouth and so on. To go and join the Lima group and so on. Instead of looking for our interests. What did Trump do for you to make our prices lower? What did Trump do for you? You had your nose far up Trump's backside. Places like us as shithole countries. But that's all you want to do. The white solidarity and to show that you're up there with them at horse racing and all this kind of thing. We want things that are relevant to the people of St. Lucia. That is what we want. And for all the massa, you say, that's what Kenny Anthony was pursuing. And that is what Philip J. Pierre is pursuing. That is what Stevenson King is pursuing. And pursuing it even better. Because he now finds himself in the midst of people who I'm sure he is shocked to discover the kind of kinship of mind and spirit that he has with the St. Lucia Labour Party. And he may be asking himself, my goodness, why was I not here a long time ago? What was I doing, on that side, taking all the crap that I took when I could be working hand in hand, shoulder. And I'm sure he must be asking himself and has been asking himself, oh my goodness, why did I take so long to get to this point? Here's the real issues. We have a little technical problem, it seems, in getting the calls right. I said I would have opened the lines. It's not that I went back on my word, but there's some issue that I think Jaquan is still trying to figure out. We don't really know what it is, but maybe during this break we'll get it. We'll be back shortly.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, pairs rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television. Be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and stream with us. 758-453-7458.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to
Jaquan tells me that he's fixed the problem of the phone, whatever the cable was, that he's fiddled with it. And so the line is available and open to take your calls. 724-7325. That is the number that you can call. 758 area code 724-7325. You can WhatsApp call us on that number. I know that's especially useful for those of you calling us from overseas. And also on 4533911. Is it true, as is being alleged, that Lon Theophilus has resigned as chairman of the CIP? And if he has, there's that little insinuation that he's done so because he's running, because he know they do some crookedness inside there. I could tell you the reason why. Maybe you already know. While I'm going to read what the government has put out, the statement about this lawsuit that is a flag is being flown about it, like, oh my goodness, they have Philip JP and the government, they have them on the ropes and all of that. But I'll leave it for Lon Theophilus, that he would have been here with me in the studio. And so let's hope that maybe tomorrow or later in the week that he can actually come in and we can have him so that he can explain what's going on with the CIP, that the UWP, and a particularly cantankerous agent of theirs, seems to be jumping up, punching the air in exuberance and jubilation that, we got them on something. Let's see whether this is really so. We have our first caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues. Go ahead. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. How do you do?
Yeah. Hi. I'm doing okay. Can we get a little more volume on that? Yeah. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Yes, like I said, Sheldon, all what these guys are trying to do, and they are just trying to mamagai people. The thing I realize, the few little people that they have, they are trying to widen their Zelev group. C'est Zelev ça la soif pouvoir. And that's just what it is. Nothing else. Alan think he can come back and play anything in our head. In our heads, have he forgotten what is it he told us? According to the Jamaican, it's the worst he make things for him. And one thing I have to say, I would rather listen to Philip Gapier's lie and not to Alan's truth. Because we know he has a problem with telling the truth. Oka pale about lowai ama setlisi manye lowai de kaune. Sheldon. Sultan lowai Canada ou pas jamais vie Canada encore.
Il mauvais con hein? Yeah.
Twice I have had the problem. At the back of my home, there is a massive meter. A transformer on the pole. On 6 poles that are, on 4 poles that are at the back of my house. There is a transformer in there. The day they were putting it is a crane that came there to mount it for them, with them. Let me say something to you. Twice, I have had to go and get somewhere else to sleep because I cannot go home. When there is lightning in Canada, it is so bad. Like we had it on Friday. I was at work. I said, Lord, I just hope it does not burn that transformer on that post at the back of my house. Because when that happens, that is trouble. I have never seen that nowhere in St. Lucia. Anytime you see the lightning start to flash, you swear believe it's the sky that burn and something fall down. Tout le monde a fermé les yeux wed. Laisse ça brûler. You have to call the telephone company immediately. You have to give them the number of the pole because they're not making a man move. You cannot block your number and call them. They will not regard the call. They will not accept it. Because I'm telling you, if you believe you're going to call them and tell them there's a transformer burned on that post and that is false, Sheldon, you'll have to sell all your children, your wife, and all your sisters to pay for that ticket for making them waste their time, giving them false information.
Okay.
Immediately they will come. The crew will arrive from the get-go because they'll be getting calls like water. I call, somebody else call, they say, no, it's not normal. That's how many people that have called, it's true. They will confirm it and they will come. And all night long, if it takes them 3 o'clock, I have heard them working up to 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
To rectify the problem because Sheldon, in St. Lucia, when you don't have electricity, you can pull your coal pot, you can pull your stove and cook. But in Canada, most of us cannot do that. No electricity, your water is cold, you can't cook, you can't see your feet in the house.
Wow.
Palace your head. The house is so dark. You have to go somewhere else and get breakfast. You have to go somewhere else and get a shower. Because you don't have electricity. Everything works on electricity.
Okay.
So, j'en sais ici, c'est le samani boudi by that. As well as by Alana. Ano just patani et nou pa kopwani. Parce que c'est ka chercher. His mission has not been completed. He need to make his way back. Ça y peut côté tout kaya dans le Rock Island, IOST, parce que c'était point pour nous. Mettez-nous qu'on waka là, et il point qui baille tous ces gens couler waya il y a. We ain't going nowhere. PJP ain't going nowhere. Alan.
All right. Bamado savon wale. Eso hame turn about PLOY.
Oi. Ma pa sa yé mais ma changer papa me regarder moi ça une fois.
Okay.
Dans c'est nos pieds coco la kay nous. Avec pas de problème puis a pas de malade. Après me quoi yon semaine nous tenions l'oreille qui te passe exactement ça te craquer son oreille moun.
Okay.
Pied coco à mort.
Okay,
peut-être qui te bien coco en dedans.
Okay, peut-être c'est éclair.
Et papa m'a dit son pied l'oreille qui tombe dedans.
Okay, mais peut-être c'est éclair brûlé. Ouais, peut-être c'est ça qui problème Alain et puis Flambeau, là n'y a pied l'oreille qui tombe en l'air.
C'est ça même. C'est pour nous. Est-ce que ça c'est pour nous commencer à ring toute minute. Pied l'oreille là qui a les autres là, get rid of it.
Okay.
Oui, you know pied l'oreille vrai parce que moi donc they're not going anywhere. PJP is not going anywhere. Pouvoir yon vle. C'est ça yon montre pouvoir.
L'année on bêtement à Tech Canada, ils sont pieds l'oreille là tombé en l'air là tout. Nous quand il parler about ça.
Non. Non, ça arrête. Ça arrête. L'âge là il est là, il peut ni problème ménopause. Et moi, pièce make-up pas arrangé quoi parce qu'ils sont ni transmission problem, bearing problem, piston problem. Name it, she have it.
All right. Merci un peu. Nous allons parler en autre temps. Thank you very much, Maria.
Bonne journée.
All right. 724-7325 and 4533911. We have your, you can call us. Let me say good afternoon to Wilma Amide, Al Henry, and Magdalene Gabriel on the Facebook Live, as well as Vernon Casabon, who says, Cambridge Analytica worked on the people in 2016, but will never work again. The people are wiser. And he also adds, these people lie so much, but they don't believe their own lies. All right. Solange James believe they are following evil Trump and are heartless. Good afternoon to you, Donan Jabatis. And, well, Vernon Kazaba is really firing today. He says, etc. Yeah, you know, there's so much you can't remember them. You know, you're always trying to look to see that there is some kind of underhandedness taking place, this place and that place, and they bluffing you, and they putting the blinders on you, and they lying to you, and so on. Tell us about all those things now. Tell us about, come clean with us about WePay, about Pomando, about this and that or the other. You're always trying to make us believe that there is some kind of bluff. Show us why the government would be lying to the people on the things that you're always trying to make a big deal of. What do they stand to gain? What it is that they stand to gain? You claim that the 2.5% health and citizen security levies, the government trying to reintroduce the 2.5% VAT that you knocked off, but your own people in the parliament doing all of that, just put back the VAT at 15%. They were advising and encouraging the government, but you come in and make it like it's a big, you know, kind of slyness and cunning and craftiness that the government is putting on the people. What has this 2.5% VAT reduction done for St. Lucia in terms of pushing our economy forward in a different and bigger way than it was? We have a call on the line. Hello? Hello, caller.
Good afternoon, Sheldon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
I want to talk very professional for you today. Because the last time I called you, you put the phone out, you drop it down. But as a professional man, you should never do that. You listen and you listen and you listen.
That's not true.
Now, let me tell you.
That's not true. No.
Everybody that's talking about Philip JPA right now, where was Philip JPA when he lost against Rantico in Marshall? All of these people was against Philip JPA. All of them. There was 3 soldiers with Philip JPA. It was Stokes, number 1, Cracker, number 2, and Brother B, number 3. Philip JPA had lost in Marshall and everybody had disappeared. Stokes died, Cracker died, but Brother B is still alive. But all the people that say wink in their mouth there, they don't know Philip JPA background. Who brings Philip JPA in politics? It's Julian R. Hunt with Christopher Hunt. Brother B, we were there, campaigning hard for Philip JPA. All these people there wink in their mouth. They never know. Never know. Now, they went on platform against Philip JPA. Today, they are Philip JPA number 1. Philip JPA, don't forget, you know. One thing I'll tell you live on TV, and I'll tell you my name when I finish. Philip JPA and Mr. King never vex. Them fellas always friends. I was in Brother Pierre car. That is Brother B that's speaking there. Brother B, and you'll get the message. These fellas never vex. When Philip JPA and myself, I had a restaurant in Marshall. We go and meet the Prime Minister, then Prime Minister Kenny D. Anthony. My girlfriend had a sister, Francisca's Cafe. We do everything in View Fort. On the beach, I was in charge of everything. Sleepless nights. Sleepless nights, we do things for the Labour Party. The Labour Party, at that time, nobody know the Labour Party. And we all know. That's Brother Peter speaking. Brother Pierre will get it. Stokes die. Cracker die. I alive still. I am making no noise. I just listening to them because they come and say, prayer, Pierre. I know all of them. When Philip JPA, that's Brother B, William B. said, Francisca, boyfriend, when he was Kadas Bakery, and when you start your office, when you start out, you was by the Indian in Marshall. There we started, all right? Julian Hunt put you, when they say Scott put a gun behind Julian Hunt, that wasn't true. So I know politics. So when I listen to all these people, it's Julian Hunt. Pierre lost twice, and Julian Hunt said, no, take a chance, go. Today, Julian Hunt, I'm not hearing his name, I'm not hearing his son. It's people right now that don't know nothing about politics. And my name is William Bissett, always back. Francisca's Cafe, dead.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I've listened to you uninterrupted. You've said all of this to make. You've said all of this to make what point?
Huh?
You said all of this to make what point?
No, the point I'm driving at. Oh yeah, I say all of this because the point I'm driving right now, the people that was against Pierre right now in Pierre's foot.
Yeah, but caller, Mr. Bissett, isn't that the nature of politics, that allegiances and support, they change and they shift, and then people come along? They are what you call diehards, and then there is what you call the undecideds and the floating votes and the fence sitters. People who maybe when Guy Mayers came, Guy Mayers impressed them that he was a good option and alternative, that they may have gone to him. Later on they realized that wasn't making sense, they come back. People have done it to Julian Hunt, they've done all of that. What is the point? People shift, you know. Not everybody is diehard like me and we stay the same and nothing moves us for all those years and we're supporting one party and so on. There are people who shift, they undecided, you know. They watch how the wind is blowing. That don't say anything. Hello? All right, I think he's pretty much done. I think he's done. Yeah, let's move on to another call. 724-7325. We have a call on the line. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah,
Delta.
hi, good afternoon to you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, and I'm so happy that your call came in at this point. People have to realize about fluidity and flexibility. That at times in your life you tell yourself, hey, something doesn't make sense here, something doesn't seem to be going the direction that I have as my personal principles, morality and philosophy, and I'm going to make, you know, an adjustment in terms of my outlook and how I see things. So, you know, I was just, it's so nice that you've called now.
Well, Shelton.
Yeah, I'm hearing you faintly. I don't know if it's a problem on our end.
It might very well be my environment.
Okay, I'm hearing you much better now. Go ahead.
Yes. So I was saying, Shelton, it is true that sometimes we have issues knowing that we've been there for the longest while, supporting, holding on for the longest while through the fire, through the rain and all of that. And then at the end of it all, you notice that the people who have been there, you know, are not necessarily the ones in the forefront. And yes, as human beings, it bothers you, but we need to understand that politics is about addition and multiplication, not subtraction and division.
Exactly.
The minute you start to do your math of subtraction and division, forget it.
Exactly.
And Mr. Pierre is one who practices the art of addition and multiplication.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We also, yes, and every party goes through this, and people change allegiances like I did. It had nothing to do with me. It was the disrespect I felt that was being dished out to us in Beaufort, okay, by the then administration and even during the campaign, and I could not handle it. And to make matters worse, when we were complaining, a politician said, you don't need Beaufort to win an election. So if you don't need Beaufort to win an election, it means that every election campaign, you're going to be using the very same strategy, which is renderings. That's what they used to bring to us. Renderings. We're going to fix the pot. This is what the pot is going to look like. This is what this is going to look like. And every election cycle, that is what they were using. And I can say that with conviction because I was involved, you know. And we used to be so excited that we'd go all out. I remember in one election, I had to beg a particular politician, literally beg her to appear on our campaign, on our platform at a political meeting, at a public meeting for weeks. And she came in on the platform Friday night, election is Monday, Japan West people know. Okay? And so when I took my position as a Beaufortian, in the best interest of community and country. Them fellas do care about us. Okay? And when Shasne came in, he did the exact thing, right? He went ahead and he signed a document without consultation with us in the South. He signed a document giving away 1,000 acres of land, of our land, not giving a damn how it was going to affect or impact the people who are still impacted because he and Bradley signed a document without reading. By the way, Shelton, Mr. Pierre is a politician. Mr. Pierre is God's ordained person for this time and environment that we're living in. Okay? And the Roro you wanted to look for with me regarding your glasses, you look really very handsome today. I'm sorry, you look really very handsome today. I love the glasses. I love the new ones.
Thank you very much.
You know what?
Thank you very much. My teeth not going.
I don't know if you spoke about Calypso, but tomorrow I'm going to call you about Calypso.
Yeah.
South Calypso tent launched on Saturday. Now, bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Cornelia. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaquan, where we with the time now? Oh my goodness, time is almost up. Yeah, we can still take a couple calls, folks, if you make it quick. I'm sorry, sometimes the calls come in when we have someone on the line. So we have another caller. Let's take that one straight away. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sheldon Daniel.
Forward là.
Après papa bon Dieu. Forward là.
Merci un pile pour ces points non. Merci un pile pour ces points non vrai pour moi.
Lan conclusion Labour Party. Point non ancien Joyli.
Merci un pile forward là. Ah.
Bah excuse-moi sœur. La prière a dit là. By St. Lucia Labour Party. Ramade papa bon Dieu. Dieu fait travail là qui bien ban nous vont chimé qui doit pour un jour pour nous tendre avant moi mort. Pour moi tendre l'hôpital là fini. Oui. Papa, ramade là sa geste là. Ouvert chimé bayo qui a fait tout ça qui bon. Ban nous tout pas bay une pas bay deux pas bay trois. Fait ban nous tout parce que on là pas accepter une deux trois. Pour la accepter tout. Oui. Sultan.
Oui.
De toute manière, il y a travail là, ça, il y a travail faire nous tout. On pas voir un canal là. On nous pas quitter politique, croiser, travail papa bon Dieu. Ça qui est la terre aujourd'hui, papa, là ouais, jour après jour, Dieu moi. C'est la mort est malade. Nous toutes malades, là, pas un petit bien portant. Il y a dit dingue. Sultan, so the Blessed Virgin Mary is the sign of sanctuary. Big ambitions for them. If you attract the Holy Spirit, you will set things moving error in the world. À nous mettre zébrés nous ensemble, nous toutes qui les bas, qui chaque monde qui couille quoi flabo, matin connaître salaire levé. Et qui n'y a jamais, je me commence à voter. Actuellement, moi, grandi, moi, va limite. Quand là, je me rapoussé. So, à nous, ces épaules, nous, ensemble, y'en a l'autre, là, perd. When you lose, you lost. Là, perd, fight là, d'accord, ou te carado reste, ou perd, ou être en silence. Si vous voulez goumer l'autre quoi, ou quoi, goumer pour vivre, mais pas trahir ça qui a là, on garde qui ça fait ben nous, depuis que nous en souffrance. Papa, bon Dieu, n'a crié encore. The Blessed Virgin Mary is a sign of sanctuary. Big ambitions for them. Everyone must pour himself into another soul. If you attract the Holy Spirit, you set things moving, error in the world. Amen. 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 C'est ça qui pour tout.
Est-ce un peu le forward là? And you know, when you hear this lady with that kind of conviction, it makes you wonder, you know, what's going on in our country where so many people more and more don't just no longer believe in God and so on, you know. They actually ridicule those who do. Those who talk about praying and we need to pray, they ridicule it. You know, one of the worst things where people think they become so intelligent that prayer and God and all of that has become irrelevant and they denounce it as a form of backwardness and all this kind of thing. I'm not of those, you know, who believe that. I always welcome hearing forward la. and the expressions of faith and conviction and believing in God, and having a spiritual inclination to them. We have a call on the line. Go ahead.
Yes, Sheldon, my credit did not finish, man.
Oh, sorry.
The only thing I tell you, I make all this point is just to tell you that nothing lasts forever.
And what is that you're referring to? Hello? We have another call on the line. Hi. Okay, we have to go now, folks. The lotto is coming up, and we don't want to cut into our own revenue earning. Thanks for listening to The Real Issues. We sign out for now till tomorrow.
6, 12, 17, 22. Big 4, 8, 8, 5, 7. Big 4 Multi-X FP. Pick 2, 2, 0. Pick 2 Multi-X 3X. 1 off.